Today I want to talk about, I don't know what else to call it, fuckability. Basically, I've seen a lot of something lately that has bothered me, and both sides of it, so let me just get down to it. Y'all are used to me swearing anyway, so let's get to it. A couple of things. I encountered someone this morning in the hallway of my hotel who was very friendly. Startlingly friendly, if you know what I mean. And I'm friendly, and I was responsive. And they held out their hand and asked my name. I gave my name, held out my hand, asked the same. And then they stepped back, went like this, taking me in, and went in for a hug that I wasn't comfortable with. So I stepped back and said, whoa, whoa. And before I could even explain, they got offended. And it's the kind of offended that I think any self-accepting fat girl might recognize. A friend of mine who is very near and dear to my heart says she's not a grateful fat chick. She's an ungrateful fat chick. And you know what? I am too, because fuck that. This person was offended by my unwillingness to share my body with them when all I knew was their first name. I do not owe them anything. And in that moment, it was kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot that that's a thing. I've surrounded myself by self-accepting radical fat activists for so long that I forgot what it's like to be in a place where that maybe doesn't exist, or at least not in any kind of number. So it was a little bit of a surprise. I explained, you know, I'm friendly, but I don't know you. And he was already offended and wrote me off probably as a prude. And that's something I've been dealing with a lot. I've been thinking a lot about how people might see me as a prude, while others will see me as a big old slut, right? It's my life. I'm living it to the extent and to the ability I can, and in the way I want to. And some of my recent posts have kind of alluded to the fact that I'm in a point of reflection. I'm kind of looking at what it is I do for fun and who I surround myself with in my life, and how that actually affects and perpetuates things in my life that I may or may not believe or support or want to perpetuate. So it's kind of a surprise this morning to deal with that. No coffee. and that. So, I mean, this was somebody who felt I owed them contact with my precious body because they felt that I was beautiful or attractive or fuckable. And to that I say, fuck off. Fuck that. I'm more than that. And I'm worth so much more than that. We all are. I mean, let's get down to this, right? Just because somebody finds you fuckable does not mean they love you, does not mean they respect you. It doesn't even mean that they think of you as a human being. It doesn't mean anything other than they want to fuck you. And then I've seen so many girls who say that they accept themselves and their fat bodies, but their behavior says otherwise. And I don't know what's in their head. I can't know. But equating your ability to have sex or to have many sex partners with self-acceptance, I'm going to have to disagree. You know, we all have sex and enjoy it for different reasons, I suppose. I'm very connected with my body, and I do enjoy having sex, of course. It's awesome. But I don't necessarily feel that if you are exhibiting dangerous behaviors, that means you're accepting yourself. I think self-acceptance is more about being connected to yourself and your body, knowing what you want and why you want it, but also protecting yourself from the dangers of the world, and really supporting your body and loving your body is about that. Protecting yourself, not just from shame and guilt and bullshit from other people, but also dangerous, scary shit. And I go to clubs, I go to dance clubs, and of not just the BBW nature, and God, how I hate BBW, the stupid term. If you want to call me beautiful, call me beautiful. You don't need to have an acronym fucking for it anyway. I go to clubs, I go to bars to dance, and I have a good time usually, but I've started to kind of question why that is. You know, why am I in an environment that people go, you know, it's a meat market, and why am I around that? Why am I supporting that? So I'm kind of rethinking a lot of my own personal choices and activities, not just about that, but that's certainly a part of it. And I see these beautiful, gorgeous women who deep down, it appears anyway, and I'm not judging at all. I've certainly been there. But it's why I want more for them. And I hope that they want more for themselves. I don't think having sex with somebody you just met at a bar or a dance club is really safe, is what it gets down to it. And if that's something you're comfortable doing and you feel good about, then do it. More power to you. It's not something I'm comfortable with, and it feels very unsafe to me because I need to know a person before I want them to know my body. And you can't just take things on face value, you know, let's face it. There's diseases out there that are still not curable and well treatable. You have to think about these things. As someone without health insurance, I have to think about these things. And I don't think I could call myself a fat activist or a body positive activist or whatever you want to call it if I wasn't able to love and support my body and protect it from the harms of the world as best I can. And yeah, it's something I've been thinking about a lot, you know. I'm single and just barely dipping my toe into the dating pool, and you know, I've thought a lot about these things as I meet people and interact with them. It's scary. I've been with the same person for so long, and to consider being with new people is a scary prospect, but in some ways it's exciting. Y'all know I love cute boys. But yeah, diseases and the putting yourself in a vulnerable position where someone could take advantage or even harm you, that's hard. And I'm not sure if I'm there yet, you know, but I see so many people do things and act out in ways that really, it gives me pause, and it makes me wonder, do they know? You know, and not do they know what other people think of them. Fuck that, I don't give a shit. And they shouldn't give a shit what I think, and you shouldn't give a shit what I think, let's be real. But is that what's best for them? Is it making them feel good deep down? I mean, we've all heard the cliche about the walk of shame, but if you're doing something that makes you feel good inside and out, do it. But please respect yourself. Please respect your body and be safe. I've been around some stuff lately that I'm not sure that I have felt safe in that environment, and that's what made me question why I'm doing it. Why am I doing something if I don't feel safe? If I feel the urge to leave and my friends are like, no, stay, I need to be careful, and I need to honor my instincts and listen to them. And if I feel like I need to get the fuck out, then I need to get the fuck out. And being away from home on this trip, I'm in Ohio right now, Ohio. I'm homesick, but not for the usual reasons. I miss my friends, I miss my dog, I miss my bed, but I miss my radical fat community so much. And it's been hard to be around people who say that they are awesome at any size, sexy at any size. I do feel the focus is so much on sex, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm all about empowering yourself and enjoying yourself, but that's not really what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people walking around with a mask, which I've written about before, and it's not real. It's not an authentic life. And I think real life is what happens after the party, you know? Real life is the next day when you're living with the decisions you've made and the choices you've made, and you have to deal with the repercussions if there are any. I mean, sometimes it's just a hangover, and those are horrible, right? So I'm just trying to think of how best to interact with people who are not aware of the fat acceptance movement, who are fine with their bodies, or so they say. But it does bother me that sex is such a focus, and it's always party, 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 drink, drink, drink. And I enjoy drinking. It's not that I don't, but I do it with a lot of my own rules, and they've always been for safety's sake, for my own and for my friends. We've always had each other's backs, and I'm so fortunate, so lucky that I've never been really hurt in those situations, in those party situations, because I know that's not the case for a lot of women. And I just want everyone to be really safe and to really, I mean, you can't be happy if you're not safe, I feel. And that's what this is about. You know, life is about the pursuit or the being of happy, I would think. It is for me. And I just want to let people know that they're worth more than all of that. You know, just chasing party after party, that's not a life I want to live. And maybe it's an age thing. Maybe I got all my partying out of the way when I was 19 and 20. I tell you, the minute I turned 21, I was over it. That's kind of a cliche, but it's true. I enjoy partying with my friends and, you know, having a good time, but I guess because it's a safer, more controlled environment in that way, it's really hard for me to drink in public. I have a lot of rules around that. I don't allow people to buy me drinks. I don't share drinks. And if I do drink in public, I try to order like something in a bottle that I can watch the bartender open, or if it's a drink like a cocktail, I watch the bartender make it and I make sure it touches no one else's hands but theirs and mine. No interception, or I ain't touching that drink. It's just really scary for me to expose myself to that. And I do go to bars and clubs alone a lot. So more often than I go with friends. A lot of my friends, you know, work or just aren't into that stuff. And I really want to dance. That's the hard part, is that there's so few outlets for me to dance that doesn't cost a lot of money. And so I go to a lot of this stuff, and I'm just kind of like, maybe I need to just not, or take a break, whatever, right? So, just trying to think of how to wrap this up now. It's not so easy. I guess just be the ungrateful fat chick. Have, you know, have the respect for yourself and for your body to stay safe. And don't just let anyone in. You know, you have to protect yourself, your heart, your body, your brain. I mean, everything is a choice. And I hate to put like a ton of pressure on it. I don't mean like every tiny little thing. I mean, it is a choice, but there's varying degrees of severity and importance, right? What you have for breakfast doesn't make you a bad person or a good person. If you eat breakfast, I think you're a good person. I don't care what you eat. But we have to do better for our community, for ourselves, for women, for men. I see women allowing themselves to be treated in ways that it's very triggering for me, I won't lie. Some people hate the word triggered, but that's the language I have to use at the moment. I just, I can't sit idly by and watch people be grabbed in really rude and disrespectful ways. I will not allow myself to be treated that way. And I know I'm not home. I know I'm not in the Bay Area in my nice little bubble of awesomeness, but it doesn't mean that I left my self-respect at home, or that I'm gonna just shut up and be good. Fuck being good. Fuck being good. Let's just get rid of all that, the good girl, bad girl thing. I'm a badass, not a bad girl. So, I want better for all of us. So yeah, that's what's on my mind. And if you listened or watched this whole thing, thanks for watching me ramble. I really appreciate it.